Welcome to the last day of 2017. This is Paul Rogers. Today I'm going to make a short video on how I'm structuring my crypto portfolio and why. Now, first I'd like to say that I believe that the market cap for cryptocurrencies will go from $610 billion as of today to over $3 trillion. So I expect the entire market space to develop and grow in 2018. Just like we saw in 2017. So what exactly do we need to own? All right. Well, these are my recommendations for 2018. I've broken them down into 3 different segments. One segment is transfer of value, Bitcoin and Dash. The second segment is platforms, Ethereum, EOS, and IOTA. And the third segment is financial, which I picked Ethland and Ripple. Now let me explain why. Bitcoin should need an explanation. It is the gateway cryptocurrency, meaning that if you want to buy, you need to start out with Bitcoin. If you want to trade, Bitcoin is the major trading pair. Bitcoin has the name. Bitcoin has everything except for cheap transactions right now. That should be coming. Lightning should be implemented, and I expect Bitcoin to rocket in 2018. Dash is kind of like a user-friendly version of Bitcoin. It's cheap to send. It works really well. Dash Evolution is going to be spectacular. If you look at the roadmap, which I highly encourage you to do for Dash Evolution, it's beautiful. It turns blockchain into something that resembles PayPal. So having some exposure with Dash is a good idea. I think Dash is going to attract a lot of new people to cryptocurrencies. Ethereum is hands down the most dominant platform that exists today. If you're going to do an ICE initial token offering, it needs to happen on Ethereum. So Ethereum is very decentralized, and I see Ethereum being a major player in 2018. Now, EOS uses a method called delegated proof of stake. So you have delegates supporting this system, and the system actually runs much faster, more efficiently than Ethereum. You can argue downsides, saying that Ethereum is more decentralized than EOS than a delegated proof of stake system, but the 20 or so delegates for EOS will make EOS to where it can process more transactions per second than Visa or MasterCard. I mean, we're talking, I think, in the neighborhood of around 100,000 transactions per second with EOS, which just smokes Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think Ethereum is doing about 16 or 17 right now, to give kind of an apples to apples comparison. I don't think that one platform is going to be dominant over the other. I think it's going to be a situation to where certain platforms will run better on EOS than Ethereum, and some platforms it'll behoove them to run their platform on Ethereum. So I see them coexisting, and I see them both bringing something unique and interesting to the crypto space. So I'm bullish on both of them. Now, IOTA, I've reduced my recommendation on IOTA a little bit just because it's almost impossible to send right now. Everything's kind of a mess with IOTA. Maybe that means it's a great time to buy it and you should own more IOTA. In fact, if you want to, I mean, it wouldn't be that big of a deal to do like a 10% allocation of IOTA. And maybe I'd say take 10% away from Dash. I mean, that's not a problem right there. This would work as well. But as of right now, IOTA is a bit of a mess, and I'm not too happy with it. So doesn't mean that 2018 Internet of Things won't take off and it won't be great. My concern is, I mean, why can't the Internet of Things run on a different platform? I mean, couldn't Internet of Things run on EOS? I'm sure it could. So maybe, I mean, it's right now we're having a hard time determining who's going to be the leader in technology. I mean, we know that the whole space is going to grow, but we're not exactly sure who's going to be the Googles and the Apples, and who's going to be the homegrocer.coms, which, if you don't know who they are, they don't exist anymore, but they were a really big thing when .com was around. Or .com first was, I would say, born. And we need to spread out our chips and look at the promise of each platform or technology, and hopefully out of the 7 that we choose, we get 4 winners. If we get 4 really, really big home runs out of the 7 that we choose, I consider that a win. So IOTA, I still think we need some exposure to it, but then again, in my opinion, Ethereum and EOS will have more traction in 2018. So maybe 2019 or 2020 will be IOTA's year. Who knows? And let's look at banking and lending. FLend is purely decentralized lending, and I see FLend climbing up the coin market cap. And I've been making tons of videos about FLend because, it was 2 cents just a little bit ago, and it could be, 60, 70, 80 cents easily next year. So I see really good rate of return for FLend and people that hold lend tokens. Ripple is the banker's blockchain, and if you, for ethical reasons, do not want to hold Ripple because it's centralized in the banker's blockchain, that's fine. Take that 15% and distribute it into these other cryptocurrencies evenly, or I should say proportionately. But you can't deny that blockchain and big banking isn't powerful. There's a lot of reasons why Ripple will have success because it is so cozy with regulation and big banks as of now. Yes, it's a little bit slimy. Do I feel guilty owning it? Not necessarily, just because, as a good investor, you want to have some exposure to different things, including centralized solutions to distributed ledger technologies, which, if you say it, doesn't even make sense. It's like taking a tiger and putting it into a cage. It doesn't make much sense. It wasn't meant to be that way. But zoos exist and banking exists. So own a little bit of Ripple. But yeah, you don't have to feel great about doing it, but you should own some Ripple. Anyhow, I hope you all have a great end of 2017. Spend some time to think about your goals and your objectives for 2018. Reflect on this year, what you have to be thankful for, and spend it with family and friends, or even alone. If you want to go by yourself and spend this time to reflect and to think and to formulate a plan for next year, more power to you. So anyhow, this is my last video for 2017. I wish you all well. I'm going to next year try to make at least 1 recording a day for the entire year. That's going to be a really hard goal because I know I'll be traveling some days and it'll be very tough. But I will try to make at least 1 vlog post each day in 2018, and that's my goal. That's my goal. Hopefully I can reach that. Anyhow, thank you for subscribing. I want you guys to go ahead and place comments. Tell me what your top 5 or 6 or 7 cryptocurrencies are for 2018. I know there's a lot of great cryptocurrencies I left off this list. Cardano, NEM, there's Litecoin. You can make arguments for so many different cryptocurrencies. I just picked the top 7 based on the market segments that I see, and we'll see in 1 year how close to correct I was. So go ahead and leave a comment, and let's discuss what we should be investing in. I'm open to changing my opinion, so I'd like to hear yours. Anyhow, Paul Rogers out for this year.